Welcome to the show.
Right.
Welcome back.
Hey, thanks for having me. Sorry for crashing that last panel a little bit early, but I think we're all good now.
Are you
Uh,
real? Are you the
I'm real.
Kevin
This is the real
Intelligence?
Kevin. Yes, it's not the AI. My AI counterpart is not joining me. I won't let it, or I don't know how to genderize it, but yeah, I won't let it in for this presentation. It's gonna be pure human Kevin here, and some help from Common Room, I guess. Common Room AI.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today. I know it wasn't easy. Um, what's new? Tell us more. What demo are we watching today? Is it
Yeah.
hype AI?
So I am in at an offsite in outer Seattle area at a place called Suncadia. It's very cold and snowy out here. I'm looking at the mountains, which is a nice view, and hopefully the Wi-Fi and all that stuff is working just fine. It seems to be okay. And I actually have a exclusive kind of demo today to share some of the stuff we're building at Common Room. It's in beta, so may the demo gods be with me, and also have some offers for people who are tuning in. So yeah, happy to just jump into things. And we got what, like 15 minutes? Is that I know we're a little bit. I'll try to go fast so we can maybe end promptly here.
Let's do it.
All right. So let me share my screen. I do have like a bit of like presentation to set the context. So hopefully that's okay for folks. I'll try and move through this fast and then get to the demo, which is more exciting stuff. So this is me. Hello, I lead the marketing team at Common Room. I want to talk about like a problem of the market right now, which is bad personalized email. That's almost like a systemic thing of that we see prevalent throughout the AI for go-to-market tech. And it's we like to think of it as like a spam cannon. Essentially, it's just looking at whatever's crawlable on Google or someone's LinkedIn profile, and then using AI to personalize that outbound message, which ends up being like pretty lightweight and not effective. And the big issue that we see with AI not being effective for go to market, especially for like warm outbound or prospecting, is it's a data issue. And so if you can pull in quality data, then your output and your use of AI becomes like a lot more executable and effective. So that's where we see an issue with Common Room, and also how we're trying to build Common Room in a way to make AI for go-to-market super effective. And so what one area where we see that you can really bolster and have a strong AI go-to-market motion is by capturing data. And I made this like 50-point checklist that combines both your CRM hygiene, different parts of enrichment. So the person's role, their company, their employee size, all that kind of stuff. And then also the other thing that Common Room does as a platform is capture signals from lots of first and third party sources. And so like this is almost like the foundation of data that or it's at least like a really good starting point for AI. It's like if you have this data foundation, then the AI can work well and be effective for prospecting and also warm outbound. Okay. And then, so I always pitch this, I always share this signal 100 signal guide. So if you are data poor or you need a place to capture data, this is an effective resource to give you like a brainstorm of like, okay, here are all the different places where I can pull in data so that I can train and use that as the infrastructure for my AI go-to-market motion to actually be effective and get those like outsized returns from AI. And it just so happens that Common Room is really good at doing this stuff. So we capture here on the left, we capture tons and tons of different types of data and signals. The other thing we do, which is super important, is both like identify that person and account behind the signals, enrich it all with that, this enrichment type of data here up in the top right quadrant. And then so not only the actions that someone or some account has taken, but also the context of like who's behind that account and if they're a priority person or if they're like some intern in some region that you can't sell to, which is a super critical factor to prioritizing and making just running this whole types of new modern go-to-market motion. Okay, so that's my spiel on setting the stage. We have like 10 more minutes, I think, so I can jump into Common Room now, which is the exciting part, and show you some new stuff that we have been up to. So I'm going to jump here, and Julia, we can see my screen here. Yes?
Yep.
All good? Okay, let me blow it up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so this is a view of Common Room, and specifically we have we're looking at a bunch of organizations that are that's in our Salesforce. Our sales team can look at these organizations and like prioritize their book of business, and kind of have this as a starting point for like, okay, what actions do I want to take within an organization? And so one thing I wanted to show, and I actually need to move this zoom so I can see my screen a little better. There we go. So one thing we can see here is that if I click into any of these accounts, and I've kind of done this before the demo here already, if I look at GitLab, for example, I can see a bunch of different signals and contacts and prospects that Common Room's pulling in, which is great. Like this gives you the whole context of this account. But we have this RoomieAI was Common Room. Roomie is the name of our AI agent. So we have this new feature here, which is pulling in context on the account. And if I click into this RoomieAI research tab, it's essentially you can see the endpoint here, which is a account plan that's auto-generated for the rep. So you have things like their business model, risk analysis, different hiring trends, firmographic summary, and yes, you can like go to ChatGPT and ask one-to-one of like, okay, for GitLab, find me this stuff. But the piece that's missing that an LLM model just doesn't have is all the like rich context data of, is this account using your product? Who is engaging on your website? Like these different signals are a really big differentiator to making your go-to-market prospecting and prioritization like actually effective. Okay, so we have this here. I wanted to show how you can actually build this and modify it and customize it to your own go-to-market needs. And so I'm going to click on NVIDIA here, and hopefully this demo works out. So you can see here, RoomieAI, our agent, is going and thinking, and it's pulling together all of this info that we have set for what an account plan looks like for a rep to get into this NVIDIA account. Okay, so now I'm going to go to settings here and go to RoomieAI. And here we can see the account research tab. There are all these different new research topics here. And you can see here we have a summary of hiring trends. We have investors and funding. We have primary competitors. So these are kind of all the different buckets that we have pre-built and preloaded as like, this could be something that is helpful context for any one of your reps to understand like what's going on at this account and how do I get a warm intro into that account. And I'm going to click on edit here so you can kind of see what's going on behind the scenes. And so here you can see this hiring trends research prompt. We give it a prompt. The other thing that's really interesting that we do, and this is kind of specific to back to that data problem or that data issue with AI, is that we're referencing certain tags here. Like this is open engineering, product, and design roles within this company, open go-to-market roles within this company. And if I wanted to add another variable to this prompt, this is where the differentiator of Common Room really comes into play. So I can look at like hiring trends or strategic hires, I think is one. Yeah, new hire announcements. So I can put in different tags here that we have identified as signals within this specific account and use this to update my prompt. And so what this will do is give us a summary of all the hiring trends within any given account that we want to research. And we do the same thing for what's their earnings call or who is invested in this company. And so when you do that, and I click on one of the accounts, it'll automatically magically just kind of fill in all the blanks for these accounts that we want to prioritize or the reps want to get into. So if I go back to NVIDIA here, you can see that some of these have finished and have resolved. And so I can see like, oh, what's NVIDIA's business model? And then the other thing that's really, to me, is really cool, at least, is that we can start to then daisy chain prompts on top of prompts. And so if I go back to this account research tab here, I can click on this one that I created called Trojan Horse. And this one is essentially a conglomerate of all of the different, so you can see here that we're referencing that business model output, we're referencing that primary competitors output, or we're referencing risk analysis. And so we're kind of pulling in all of those different research prompts that AI is doing and merging it together into this other prompt that's like, okay, take into account all these different things that we know about this account, and then take into account what we know about our business, and then merge those two things together so that we can create an account plan, a strategic plan of attack, hence the name Trojan Horse, for how we get into that account. Okay, so the last thing that I wanted to show is what that looks like, and hopefully it's done with NVIDIA for now. If not, I can go to a different one. Last thing I wanted to show is going into NVIDIA here, and hopefully we have our Trojan Horse. Yeah, there we go. Our Trojan Horse account plan that references all these other different research findings is now ready, and this is now the first thing I can do as a rep is just jump into this account and say like, okay, here are the five different points of entry that I can use to get into this account. Okay, and then there's one more thing that I wanted to show, which is our personalization feature, which allows you to, I think I did an HSE one here. Yes. Actually, no, it's down here. Warm intro and account plan. If I click edit here, you can see I say this is for sending a warm intro into that account. I'm now using this organization Trojan Horse research output to then personalize an outbound email that we want to send to someone at that account. And so real quick, if I go back into, I know we're like getting close on time here. If I go back into NVIDIA and I click on my contacts within NVIDIA, I can see like, okay, look at all these cool people who are ideal prospects with different scores. What warm intro should I send to this person to get into that account? If I click on one of these people, Ari here, and I go to draft AI message, you can see this warm intro message that we used in the previous prompt with the Trojan horse informing it. And I click here, it'll then create an email. It'll build an email for me that includes things like, how NVIDIA compares to its competitors, a different case study, and like their go-to-market strategy. This email might not be perfect. Take some prompting to make it better, even better over time. But you can kind of start to see the power of what's possible by combining all these different reference points of AI and having AI build this orchestration for AI to, do a lot of the heavy lifting that your reps are doing. And if you were to do this as a rep manually, it'd probably take maybe an hour to do all this. We just did it here in the last like 5 minutes. So pretty cool, powerful stuff. And yeah, that is pretty much it. If you want to demo this or try this or get early access, make sure to sign up for Common Room. You can create a free account and mention that you saw it, and we'll open up access to you. And that's all I got.
Amazing as always, Kevin. Let's just address the questions that the community submitted before here. One of them is how Common Room's AI distinguish between genuine buying signals and random customer behavior?
Can you repeat that? How we distinguish between random buying signals and customer behavior? Is that what?
Between genuine buying signals and random customer behavior.
Oh, okay. So I think it's kind of in the eye of the beholder here, is what I would say, is that, one signal could matter a lot to you, like a website visit or product data. And that could be like really high intent. And that is some signal that your team uses and knows, and that works well. Whereas like maybe, a keyword intent data or like a G2 review is, it's a signal, yes, but it's not like super actionable. And so like, I feel like what you need to know is just kind of like what signals work for your company. We have ROI reporting that tells you, okay, these signal plays are converting at this rate. So you can kind of like stack rank and understand that over time. But yeah, I think the starting point is actually just knowing your business and like what signals, what triggers someone to be a good customer, and then using that signal as a starting point. But we can pull them all in is the thing. It's just the eye is in the beholder of how to prioritize that.
quite subjective. How soon will AI surface GTM opportunities before teams even look?
Sorry, can you repeat it again?
Yeah. How soon will AI surface GTM opportunities before teams even look?
Yeah, I mean, interesting question. I think eventually we'll get there. I mean, with Common Room, essentially, like we're pulling in all that signal, um, and then once you unleash the AI on that, it's like, okay, we know from this pattern matching that like these plays have worked in the past. Therefore, like when we find this other signal, then here's the accounts that we're recommending you get into, and like that's kind of like the vision we're building to for sure. So, I think in the near future, call it 6 months to a year, like it'll just be like, oh, log in. Here are the accounts that you care about, and here's how to go get into those accounts.
Exactly. That's what we were discussing with G2 CEO today, Godard, how they are revamping the whole UI UX. And it's really uncertain what will happen to categories, software
Yeah.
categories. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a fun market. Everything's kind of like mixing and melding together, and it's fun. You get lots of competition, which is hard, but then it's also kind of fun because like there's a market here and everyone's kind of like chasing after the same thing. So it's fun.
exactly. Last question here to be respectful of your time. What other tech stack tools does this integrate with, and how
Oh
do we
yeah.
make it even more powerful?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so there's a few, I mean, there's a lot that we integrate with. There's both like the signal providers like LinkedIn or your website visit or your CRM or, like a data warehouse or communities. Like these are all signal part technology that we pull signal in. Like these are all different things of people interacting on these different platforms. That's good signal for you to take action on. And then there's like the data out piece, which is, I have this signal-based play. I now want to like run a sequence, like an outbound sequence using Outreach or SalesLoft or HeyGen or something like that. So yeah, I mean, there's a pretty vast library of integrations we have here. So I would say check out Common Room and you can kind of tinker and explore there.
That was a great demo, as always, Kevin. Thank you so much,
Awesome.
and looking forward to see you again tomorrow at Gentech
Oh
GTM.
yeah, that's right. I'm on a panel tomorrow. So plug for that. Thanks everyone. Have a good one. Bye.
Thanks.